Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Tonight is Wednesday night. Just to let you know, Single Soul Mates women's panel has moved to Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. The men's panel has moved to, the Queen's panel and the King's panel has moved to Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. So we're not doing it on Fridays anymore because on Fridays people be outside and it'd be hard for people to be inside to make the show. But anyway, just to let you know, tonight we are here with the King's panel with Single Soul Mates, and we do have our questions and topics that we will be discussing. Of course, some of them will be slightly similar to last night, and if you watched last night and the week before that, you know that some of the questions from the previous panel will be on the next panel, and then the next panel will have some of the questions from the previous panel. So it gets a little interesting because you do get to see kind of both sides of how, we would respond to these questions or these topics or issues or whatever. So definitely check out the panel from last night. And actually, it was just Jamie and I. It was two girlfriends sitting, talking, and having a good old time. We really thought it was going to be like 45 minutes, and it ended up being about 2 hours. So definitely check that out. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and go around the room. Let everyone introduce themselves. Let them know where you are from. Let them know where they can find you on your socials, and if you're working on any projects. We'll start with Tyrone and then Anthony.
What's up, everybody? Always a pleasure. Tyrone Wilson here. You can catch me at Ty Wilson21 on all social media platforms. I have been posting lately to my personal YouTube channel about mental health, and I can't wait for the new season of Ready to Love because I'll also be dropping some reviews. So check it out when you get a chance. Let's do this.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Anthony, season 7, Ready to Love Miami. You can find me at IM_Anthony Martin NP. Excited for the question tonight. Let's get to it.
All right, let's get it. So the topics we will be discussing, and hopefully we will have 2 more Kings joining us tonight, but we're going to see because they're in the middle of some stuff. So, but just to let you know that tonight we will be discussing how long would you wait for a woman to give up the cookies? Have you ever or would you ever do dating apps? And if so, what was your experience? Do you end the relationship because of baby daddy drama? And if you could not make your woman climax, how would that make you feel? And what would be your next steps? So if you are watching right now and if you are interested in hearing what the Kings have to say, definitely stay tuned. Hopefully we will have, actually I can go ahead and say it, hopefully we will have Blake joining us. And hopefully I think definitely PO will be joining us a little bit later as well. So definitely stick around if you are interested in hearing what these Kings have to say. If you have not clicked that thumbs up, make sure you click the thumbs up. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. Make sure you click that subscribe button, click that black notification bell. So every time I go live or do any uploads, you will be the first to know. Shout out to all my soulmates. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here and supporting me once again. All right, so let's get right into it. I think tonight I know people are going to be like, you got your sexy voice tonight. No, it's my tired voice. So bear with me, everyone. I am a bit exhausted, but I am here making it happen. So I'm not trying to sound sexy. I mean, maybe a little bit. But anyway, all right. So let's get into it. How long would you wait for the woman, your woman, a woman, the woman you're dating, to give up the cookies, the snickerdoodles, the Twinkies, chocolate chip cookies, bread pudding? Like how long y'all waiting?
Tyrone, you want to take this?
In all honesty, right? If I like you, then I'm not even really thinking about it. I'm not that pressed. If I can get it early, then I'm probably gonna look at you different. It's gonna take a lot out of you to like change my mindset on that. It can be changed, but I would say, like a good 30, 45 days, just good dates, 3 to 5 dates is good. That's a sufficient amount of time for us to decide whether we're gonna be intimate. like I said, I'm not pressed. Even if we're in bed together, you know, I know you're there. I can feel you, smell you. Energy is there. You know, obviously you can see everything is working. So we ready when you ready, but I'm not pressed. It's not really an issue for me. Like I said, what, about 2 months? You know, you would be expecting something after that,
Mm,
unless you had those conversations. That's not something you normally do.
mm,
I have to agree, Tyrone. If I like you, I'm spending time with you, I'm intrigued by you. I'm not even counting at that point. To be honest with you, just me wanting to spend time with you, it says a lot for me because I usually, turn myself off after the first or second date. So we get to the third date, then we're gonna start to have the conversation, and just basic adult conversations about it. But after that, I'm not even paying attention if I truly like you. Now, if you're giving me, cues that you're interested and you want to take things further, then we've already had the conversation, adult conversations. So then whenever we decide to go there, it's fair game at that point.
So let me ask y'all this. So I got some side questions. So say for instance, she comes to y'all and say, so you meet someone and she's fabulous, she's amazing, she's exactly what you've been looking for. You guys finally have that conversation and she says, I want to wait till I get married. What do you do?
I would say good luck with that. I wish you the best. You know, I really do. It would be very, very difficult to wait. You know, I'm not saying it's impossible. Obviously, it would depend on the situation. There's so many other things that you could do aside from sex, right?
Yeah.
Your presence alone, you know, is what intrigues me the most. You know, if I'm giving you my time, you know, then that's more than enough. But for some folks that want to wait till marriage, I would expect for you to tell me that early, as
Mm.
opposed to us being, you know, 6 months in and now you're telling me that. So, you know, I can respect it. You know, if that's what you're into.
Mm.
How about the ones that you started, you get it, and then they tell you after that that they want to wait for marriage. After that, after giving it to you already. But that's a different topic. But
Yeah.
you never heard of that before? Tyrone, have you heard that before?
Yeah. They just wanted to confirm
Yeah.
that it is good and now they can wait.
I've had women say that they sleep with you and
Yeah.
then they backtrack and be like, well, I don't want to do it again until I get married. Kind of like a look, it is what it is.
I've
Um,
never heard
no,
that.
I have. I have a cousin that got tricked that way. He actually married her. Um, but
He didn't
it
get
didn't
tricked
last though.
then.
Yeah. I
It,
mean, sometimes,
but it didn't last though.
yeah.
False intentions. It wasn't a
Yeah.
good foundation, so it
So
didn't last.
yeah, I've seen that as a play for the woman, for the woman to keep the guy around because he's going to want more of that, you know. So it happens.
Right.
It happens a lot more than you think.
But to your question, as far as waiting, I've never been introduced that question. I've actually thought about it too. Would I be able to do that? I have to say, at this point, it depends. If I'm dating you and I actually see marriage in our future, like you are a person I can see myself marrying, spending the rest of my life with, I might take that leap with you. You know, if I don't see it and I know it's smoke and mirrors, like I'm gonna exit and just tell you, good luck to you. But if I see it, if I know, then yeah, I'll take that leap with you. Why not?
Wow. So we have, we're in a relationship. You asked me to marry you. We have an engagement. We're not getting married until 2-3 years later. You would wait?
That's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, if
It,
we've already made that commitment to wait, then I'm not even, you know,
Tripping.
it's not
I'm not.
even thing to think about.
Yeah, I'm not waiting 2 or 3 years to get married after I get engaged to you. That's not happening.
Wow.
Right.
No, it's really not either. If
Right.
I've gotten to that point where I put a ring on your finger, then we need to be planning this wedding as soon as possible. There's if I've come to the point where I've waited all this time to ask somebody to marry me, that means I have the means in order to make it happen.
Right.
So that means we need to be planning this wedding, or we need to be going to somebody's courthouse and then planning a wedding at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel you on that. I just also feel like I wouldn't want it to feel like wedding is pressure for me to have sex.
Yeah, but you know what though? It's not even sexually driven at that point. I've just reached a point where I'm 40 years old. You know, I want to experience that that comfort, that support of having a wife. So I don't feel like I need to be dragging it on 2 or 3 years planning a wedding and making excuses.
Right.
You know, there's a courthouse right down the street.
Yeah. No, so what I'm saying is to say, you know, there's the engagement and then the wedding is like 6 months from now. I still wouldn't be thinking, yes, I get to have sex in 6 months. You know, I wouldn't even put pressure, you know, during that weekend, wedding night, the honeymoon, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how long would you date then before, like, if that were to happen? Because the thing is you're not going to wait that long to get married. But what if you're only dating, or not only, but what if you dated for 2 years without it, and then so would you wait the 2 years, you know, or you're like, no, if I know that's the one, I'm going to ask her to marry me. I'll know in 6 months to a year. So is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it's the intent, you know, going in, you know, what you want from the relationship, what you see her as.
Yeah.
And, you know, if it's to a point to where sex is just an addition to all the great things you already have, then that could make sense.
Yeah, I feel like
close to that.
Yeah, I feel you, Tyrone. At this point in time in my life, where 6 months to a year, I need to be knowing, like I need to be proposing. At this point, we're not gonna drag it on 2 to 3 years.
Absolutely. That's how I feel. I feel exactly the same way that you do, Anthony. Like, I'm one of those people that's like, if we're going to do it, let's do it. Like, I know I want to do it. Let's do it. Let's go to the Justice of the Peace. Like, let's do it. Let's plan a trip whenever it makes sense for both of us. Let the friends know if they want to come back and have a big old party in the backyard. Like, yeah, I'm not, yeah. That's me. I don't want to talk about me, but I talked a little bit about it last night. So y'all got to go back and watch that video. Yeah, I get it. Okay. So follow-up question. What if when you finally get it, it's bad?
I mean, as with everything, we're gonna investigate. You know, is it me? Is it you? Like, do you have a history of bad sex? Do I have a history of bad sex? You know, let's be open and honest about that. Is sex normally bad?
Tyrone, yes. I just want to let you know my sex is bad. I'm sorry I didn't tell you from the beginning, but I've had like 3 or 4 guys tell me that it's horrible, Tyrone. I'm sorry that I just now had to tell you, but.
Okay. I would ask, like, what are the guys saying that you're doing horrible? Like, are you just dead weight? Or you just...
No, everything I do is good. I don't know what they be talking about. Like, I ain't never had nobody tell me I was bad. I'm just saying, like, I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Take a couple sips of this, girl. Right? Take a couple sips of this, and whatever I say, just do it. All right, we're gonna get past this hump, this hurdle. Trust me.
Damn, that's a hard one. I feel like with anything, you have to teach someone what you like. You know what I mean? And they're not gonna let off the top. So I understand what you mean. I've been in situations where just people you just can't help. They're stiff. They maneuver a certain way. It's kind of whack. You know what I mean? It's whack. I'm sorry, but it's whack. All sex is whack. You like, don't even do it. Don't try. It's okay. Tap out. You know, it's okay. But I don't know. It's such a slippery slope. You know, either you're gonna work with that person. You're gonna figure out, like, look, is this really that important to me? Is this a deal breaker? Can we maneuver it? Can I just put them in a certain situation all the time for the rest of my life? I don't know. It's just a slippery slope with that. It's a slippery slope. Don't get me wrong. But bad sex is not good energy. It really isn't. It's somebody you want to spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah, I would actually reverse it. Instead of her trying to figure out the things that I like, you know, I would ask her, what do you like? And just be open and honest about that. No matter what you think I'm going to say, or no matter how you feel I'm going to react to what you like, even if it's crazy, just spit it out, right? Because it may just be like a mental or an emotional hurdle that's not getting you, you know, to that point to where you feel like it's good, you know? Because maybe there's something that you want to do that's going to make you feel good, or something that you want to feel that's going to be enjoyable to you, that these other guys aren't willing to even inquire about, which is not getting you to that level. So if you're not at that level, then you're not reacting well. And because you're not reacting well, now I'm not doing well, because, you know, the man works off of your reaction. The more excited you are, the more excited I'm going to be. So
Yeah.
let's figure out what we got to do to get there.
And that's a whole word, Tyrone, because a lot of men, and lately I've been having a lot of men on my channel. So but I want to say this, there's a lot of men out here that's quick to say, man, she ain't good. She don't got no good. Like, yes, it was whack. It was whack. And in real life, maybe it was whack because you're whack. Like, honestly. So I like how you said that and how you put that. Because one thing about me, I'm sure, like, I've had whacked times, and it was whack because I'm just like, I wish this would hurry up. Like, golly, I got like 3 more minutes left in me. Like, Lord have mercy, I want it to be over. So I'm not giving what it needs to give because I'm trying to expedite this situation. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's a good word. That's a good word. But
and that's the last thing you want. The last thing you want is to realize that she's trying to get it over with. Now you're there like, damn. All right, I guess I'll get it over with it.
Have y'all ever experienced that? Like, where you were like, I don't think she's enjoying herself.
Yeah.
Like, what was going through your mind?
It was like, in all honesty, and this is probably why, is because I didn't care, you know. And I'm honest, I didn't care, you know, walking into it. I didn't care. So it probably just rolled over into it being terrible.
Yeah, and you were like, let me just go ahead and do what I got to do, because that was the whole mission anyway, was just to get to the end result, and they were irrelevant. They were relevant because they needed to be there, but I don't think
I ever had that problem. That's all I'm sitting here like thinking, like brainstorming. If I never, I don't know. I'm very assertive. I pay attention to certain things. You know what I mean? So when I do my job, I gotta do it right. I try to do it right. You know. So I've never had that issue where it's just kind of like, oh my God, like hurry up, get this over with. You know, it's kind of like, damn, do it some more. Like I don't know. I've never had that issue.
Every time.
Bro, but you know what though? I'm also like,
Anthony,
so
you was
man, I can't even remember. But you know what though, Tyrone? When I was a late starter. I was a late starter, and then from there I had a girlfriend, a longtime girlfriend, and I went to the military, so I still had that same girlfriend. So I was in that relationship for a long time. So I wasn't sitting here in high school like, you know, bobbing and weaving and doing my thing in high school. Like I think I didn't start having sex in my senior year. So it was like my first girlfriend, and then on to the next one in the military life. But I've never really had that issue, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So for the record, 99.999% of all of Anthony's sexual interactions were good.
To this day, they still.
He just don't remember that 0.0.
I don't remember. I've never had nobody say like, "Yo, it was whack." Like, hurry up and finish this. If it was, they didn't tell me. I didn't notice.
So that's the thing, you didn't notice.
I didn't notice. They seemed pleased to me. They no complaints,
right.
no verbal complaints on.
Right.
And like I said, I pay attention to things. I'm very, very
observant.
In tune with certain things as well. So.
Dang, that's crazy. Have y'all ever told like a female, like she was like, so how was it, boo? Like, was y'all ever like, I mean, it was
like them asking me or me asking them?
Right. No, them asking you, and y'all was like it was okay. And they was like, it wasn't good because I know I got you.
I guess the best way to say it is like, if you see that everything is still working and I'm excited, then there's really nothing to question, right? I obviously like you. I'm happy here. We're all happy here, you know? So yes, it's good. You good. You straight.
So that's what you tell them, even if it's not good and straight?
Because I feel like, you know, in those moments, like those moments can be really, really sensitive, right? You can have one little minute thing go wrong, and now it's something you end up thinking about every single session, you know? So I realized like you have to be really sensitive about how you react to certain things, you know, because you could really scar a person, you know, in those situations if you come off wrong or if you react wrong or say the wrong thing or start talking about scents and smells and stuff, you know. So I realized you got to be careful in those situations and really, you know how men say like they want the women to kind of cater to their ego and things like that. I feel it works the same way, you know, as a woman as well. So, like I said, I react to how happy you are. So the more excited I can keep you, the better it's going to be for me.
Mm.
So like I just said, there've been probably, I don't know, like you okay, so you women, when a man is not performing to his best ability, giving you guys all sex, you guys are very vocal about it. You know what I mean? Like, yo, that's not doing it. So I've had instances where it's just been whack. So I've had to say, you know what? Let's just stop. This is not your thing. Like, let's just move on to something else. Like, it's just not.
See,
It's not doing it. It's not doing it.
that's a good example right
I don't
there.
know what to tell you. So we just, you know what? Just cut. We gonna just cut that out.
What
Cut
did
it out.
she say?
Bruh, I am never giving you no ever again in your life.
I mean, what can you say? Either I, I don't even know how to tell you to work on it, like what to do. Like we just gonna we gonna cut it out the equation.
Nah,
Yeah,
I know.
it's not your thing. It's not your thing.
I know what to tell them.
What? What do you tell them?
I would say pretend that you're a kid eating an ice cream cone and it's 100 degrees out and you don't want that ice cream to melt and get all over your head. Do that. Start there.
As far as sexually, I try. You know, if something is not pleasing me, I don't like something. I try to maneuver you or help you out the best way I can. But I found out if you don't got it, you just don't got it. To be honest with you, like you're not capable of doing it.
And you just stop in mid-stroke. Dang.
You ain't got it.
I'd have been like, why you stop? Well, I don't know. Like, how would I feel?
You gotta get a little bit of coaching before you like give up. Is she
And
coaching?
that's where the maneuvering comes from. You know, you maneuver people a certain way and do certain things to them. You position them a certain way. Like the women, when they like something, they tell you, hold on right there. You know what I'm saying? Stay right there. You know what I mean? So, so as a man, you're gonna tell them like, hey, you might not verbally say it, but you're gonna guide them, maneuver your hands the way you want them. You know, position them. Like I said, they ain't got it. They just ain't got it. Though. There's only so much you can do.
It's hard to be bad at that.
It is. It is. Unfortunately, sometimes it's the first time they're hearing this. So
So let me ask y'all this. I'm
You know,
sorry. I got
you
so
look stunned a little bit.
I'm just because because I've just never experienced any things like that, and I've never had conversations like this before. So I just never knew. So I am kind of shocked and intrigued at the same time. So, so okay, so oh God, I got so many questions. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna focus. Do y'all have anything else? Anything else to say?
No, just waiting for the waiting for the follow up.
Okay. So with that being said, so okay, say for instance, like you tell her that. After that, do you cut it off? Like, do you? I mean, because there is room to work on it. Like, this is someone like you're in a relationship with. Y'all started dating. Like, y'all been dating for 3-4 months. Everything is good. You feel like she is the one, and then that happens. It's not great. And then, do you continue to train? But what if she never just gets better? But what if this is your wife?
I mean, I've had I guess the best way to say it is I've had situations where it was just different than before or different than what you were used to. And by different, it ended up being not as good, only because the previous person took the time to learn you, right? And has probably affected that process. So it's almost like, I don't want to say starting a new team, like you have to understand that people are going to be different. She may be thinking, because of her previous experiences, she know what to do in the first 2-3 minutes. So now she's probably thinking, normally 3 to 5 minutes, I'm good. But minute 6 comes, and now you could feel her questioning, and now you're reacting to her questioning, and then it becomes this thing with that spirals, and now you're both looking at each other and not saying nothing, but something ain't right. In that moment, you just got to speak up and just be like, hey, in all honesty, things are just different because this is new to us. But we'll get there. This is what I like. This is what you're doing that isn't as pleasing. So I wouldn't say I don't like it. Obviously, if you're there, I like it. But there are some things that I like more that you do. That's how I would word it.
I mean, obviously, if I'm looking at this young lady like she's my wife,
Right.
then I'm hoping that she's open enough to have this conversation and not going to take it personally. You know what I'm saying? And get on the get defensive about it. If I could sit there and take, hey, you like things a certain way, you want this done or whatever it is, and I could take notes on it and try to adjust it. I feel like if you're open to doing that as well, then I'm open on working on it with you. So I'm not gonna walk away from my wife, so to say, just because of bad sexual experience. Like we have to teach each other, we have to learn off each other, feed off each other's energy. You know what I mean? So it's definitely something to work on.
So let me ask you this, Anthony. How soon is too soon for you? Like if a girl gives the cookies up too soon, like, so say for instance, you go on a date. You're feeling her, she's feeling you. The chemistry is there. Y'all really like each other. And like y'all smash that same night. How does that make you feel about her?
That's a good question. I actually thought about that today. That's so funny you said that. I thought about it today. It all depends, to be honest. It all depends. I will never judge somebody off the first date because I've had really good first dates, to be honest with you, where if it led to a sexual encounter, I wouldn't have been surprised, because the vibe was on. We were very affectionate. The physical touch was there. You know what I'm saying? It was never a dull moment. The eye contact was there. So I can't never say, oh my gosh, let me get in the first date. You ain't shit. Because it's definitely a mutual thing where, damn, I felt the same way you felt. So if we happen to have stepped together, then it was just a moment of vulnerability that we had at that time. So I can't never say there's any time that's too soon to do that. But I will say this: I'm gonna give you ladies some game real quick. I have a friend of mine, and he's actively looking for a wife. Okay. He says it all the time. He wants to be in a relationship. Unfortunately, he's had a couple incidents where he slept with women on the first date. And from that point on, look at Tyrone's face. Look at Tyrone's face. Right. Unfortunately, he X'd him out from that. Some men love the chase. They love the pursuit. They love to to work for it. You know what I mean? And they kind of relate that to integrity, to morals, unfortunately, so be careful. Not all men think a certain way, and they might exclude you, if you give it up too soon. But you got to know your audience. You got to know who you're dealing with. You got to fill them out.
So pretty much what you're saying is you wouldn't necessarily exclude them.
Me personally, no, I wouldn't. Because if I did sleep with a woman on the first date, it was a mutual thing.
Right.
I was there with them. You know what I mean? So
Right. And Tyrone, you're pretty much like, yeah, they done.
Yeah, like if I can get it literally without saying a word, then that's probably too soon. Anything
Yeah.
outside of that, a lot of it is dependent on the conversation, the way we carry it. We grown. And if that's something we decided to do as grown adults and then still stay in a grown adult situation, I don't see anything wrong with it.
So you would continue to date someone after the first night and first sexual encounter, the first night.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've done it on multiple occasions.
Oh, it was that good, huh? Wow. Okay. I get it. Because it happens to, I get it.
Sometimes the chemistry and everything just leads you there.
Yeah. Because I've been tricked into relationships like that too. So I get it. I'm like, I'm your girlfriend? What? Hold on. No, I get it. No, but that's interesting to know, because a lot of women think that, if I give it up on the first date, he's not going to really. So that's why I feel like a lot of women wait, not because they want to, and I'm not saying there are some women that really genuinely want to wait, but I feel like a lot of women do wait because they feel like they're going to run the guy off. Like, if I give it up too soon, he not going to like me. He not going, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's good to know. You know what I mean?
We spend a lot of time assessing, so we could pretty much tell, if you're a grown woman having sex on the first night, or if you just for the streets out there having sex on the first night.
Facts. I've had a lot of men that say they've slept with women on the first night, and that was their wife. They've married those women. So I've heard that quite a few times. So you have to be careful. Just be careful. You got to fill it out. It's like rolling the dice. To be honest with you, you're rolling the dice when you do it. So you just have to think about, what can you live with as a person.
Dang, that's amazing. I would like to know where their relationships are now. That would be a good conversation. Okay. Okay. So if you guys are just now tuning in, shout out to you guys. I know a couple of you said that you didn't know what the question was, but the question is how long would you wait for a woman to give up the cookies? And then we kind of had follow-up questions and sub-questions, and yeah. So, but that was really good. Very, very informative. I know Dollface Couture says it's the trickery. But, just like Anthony said, some of the guys that he knows actually married those women. So I don't know. I just feel like everybody's journey is different. And that's one thing about me, is I don't think about what I feel like if this man is supposed to be my husband, regardless if I give it up or not, at the end of the day, he's going to be my husband because he's supposed to be my husband. Exactly. Like, I've never lived my life with, well, maybe I shouldn't, or maybe I should. Like, I really just try to make the best decisions for me, and whatever plays out is, well, obviously I was not supposed to be with him. And, that's why X, Y, and Z happened, or whatever the case may be. Like, I feel like the universe never leads you wrong. You just have to have faith in whatever's supposed to be, and you just have to trust the freaking process, period. I never have regrets. I never say, dang, I wish I would have. No, like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Anyway, moving forward. Really, really good. I like it. We be having so much conversation. I like it. Okay. Have you or would you ever do dating apps? And if you have, how was your experience, Tyrone? Look at your face.
It was really bad for a while. I was a tyrant for a while, but I'm talking even before the app. So I don't know if y'all remember things like Hotmail classifieds, Yahoo classifieds.
Damn.
Yeah, I used
Damn.
You say
yeah,
it's bad.
I mean, on business trips, I had a wow, I had a thing where I would develop a universal message, and I'd send that message to like 100 different people, for the weekend about this location that I'm visiting for work, that I'm actually looking for places to stay, blah, blah, blah. And there's potential that I may find a home here, you know. And then out of those 50 or 100, just copy and paste, like Corey would say, somebody going to respond, And then after they're responding, then you just continue with what you're doing. And then, once the apps came out and you were start swiping, then it got really bad, and we would have like swipe fest. The fellas and I, like, we would have like swipe competitions where we would like gamble swipes. So we worked in this place where we really couldn't have our phones because it was like a secure facility. And the fun thing to do was, to get an IM from the homie, you'd be like, yo, want to play the swipes? And what that means is we would go out and we would just swipe right on everything. And the first person to get a connection wins, which means the other person got to pay for lunch or pay for a drink or something. So it ended up getting really bad. But over time, you get really desensitized, to the dating apps. And then another thing that happens is, you don't start to take it seriously. You realize that nothing substantial is coming from these dating apps. And another thing, it's kind of like my entrepreneurial spirit, I guess. It's almost like you keep feeling like you can do better, I can do better. Almost like playing the slots, like I can do better. I've hit before, let me just keep
literally.
Yeah. You're just doing it. And then eventually I just kind of, gave up on it. I was like, I don't need this. If I really want something substantial, it's most likely not going to come from a dating app, because almost every person I'm talking to is attractive. Therefore, I'm most likely one of 50 or one of 100 dudes that's talking to her. So how am I expecting her? How am I expecting to keep her focused when, in addition to her life, she's probably got like 50 to 100 connections? Easy. Like, I've had women say, I'm afraid to swipe right because I know that I'm going to get a connection on this dude. So, yeah. So it's been years. It's been years since I've been on the apps. But it was bad. I'm talking, you can invest and swipe in different countries and stuff just to see. Because you get bored, right? You get lonely, you get bored. And the fact that you can filter through 1,000 women in an hour, like, it messes with your brain. It messes with your emotion. So you gotta get away from it.
Anthony?
Well, I know I can't bullshit this question because the world knows I actually bumped into one of my castmates on the dating app.
Yep.
But let's see how. To be honest with you, it's smoke and mirrors for me, the whole dating app thing. People say what they want to say on it. Some people just looking for free dinners. Some people want aggression. Some people want to take their time. It's never a balance with a dating app, Like, here today, you might match with somebody, they gone tomorrow, they wasn't feeling something you said. It's just different from you meeting somebody at a grocery store or a laundromat or something. It's just you'll never. I don't feel like personally you will ever get that same connection, that same organic connection
Yeah.
as in me walking up to you and asking you for your phone number. Because like Tyrone said, it's 50,000 other people that you're talking to at the same time. So what is going to make you pay attention to me as a person, actually believe that I am who I say I am and I'm here to do what I say I'm going to do? You know, everybody has this stigma that people join dating apps just to have sex. You know what I mean? So it's rare. I think I probably met like what 2, 3, maybe 4% of people that actually met somebody on dating apps and it's actually led to something versus the alternative. Um, so I don't really know how I feel about it. I won't do it again though. I'm good. I definitely won't do it again. I think I've ran my course with dating apps has gone nowhere. I probably went on maybe 1 or 2 dates years ago off a dating app, nothing recently. So I want to go touch it now.
Mm. Mm.
I got to meet you outside the streets. Like I got to walk up to you, I got to talk to you. I got to feel that connection and know, hey, you about to put in the same energy that I'm about to put in, possibly, you know, because you can meet people at the grocery store and they can be ain't shit as well.
That part.
So, you know,
So I actually talked a little more in depth about it on last night's panel and with my journey on dating apps. But I will say this, one of the reasons that, I had started doing dating apps is because the men did not approach me. They don't approach me. Like they just stare at me. They never approach. And it's to the point where, I think I even said on one of my panels where it was a bunch of us women on the women's panel. I think it was like one of the first or second ones. Like I literally made myself open. Like I had that face like, hey, it's okay. You can come say hi, like, hey, what's going on? Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm letting him know he got the open door to say hi, but they be like, and then they keep going. I'd be like, damn, he walking fast as shit with his cart. Like, where is he going? So, and I talked about this before, and a couple of the people actually in the chat said maybe because they had girlfriends or they weren't married, because I would never like look at a man like that if I saw a ring on his finger. Like I would be like, I'd go the other way. Like I don't even want to make eye contact. You know what I'm saying? So, but these are single men, and I'm saying to myself, like, it hasn't just happened like on one occasion. It's happened at least for like the last year and a half. Like men just do not approach me.
Can you know how I would? So you know how I would view that. How I personally view that, and it's just me and my positive thinking. So, it's because they know they didn't have any good intentions for you. To be honest with you, that's how I would look at it. Whenever somebody doesn't approach you, when you're giving them the open door that way, it's for a reason. So don't take it as oh my God, something's wrong with me. No, that man probably had something going on that needed to stay away from you. You know what I mean? Like you didn't need that kind of energy. That's just my positive thinking about it. Because you're a beautiful woman. You know what I mean? So if you're sitting there winking at me, I might, slide over. Now, if I don't slide over, there's a reason I'm not sliding over.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are the men not approaching you, or the men you want just aren't approaching you? Because remember, we've hung out, and you get play. You get play. They go at Sabrina, and I'll tell you, the ones that she don't like, you know, she don't like them, But
oh my
God. She'll be flirty and stuff, and I'm sure y'all have seen Sabrina get a little serious, when she talking. Some dudes can't handle that. But she do get played, y'all. Don't let her come on here acting like ain't nobody, so you can make another lonely video. They be getting that Sabrina heavy.
But it's the one she don't want. That's what it is. She don't want her. She wants what she wants. So she winking at you. That means she wants you. But if you coming up to her, you 5 foot or whatever it is, something's up with you. She don't want you, right?
Yeah, and Tyrone is right. Just because I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want you to waste mine, honestly. Especially if I'm in the club trying to have a good time. Like I don't need you to try to like sell me in 20 minutes. No, I'm going to cut that real short, probably like in 45 seconds, because like I'm trying to have a good time with my friends, or I'm trying to have, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, and Ty is right. And it is the guys that I'm like attracted to or interested in. And I say to myself, I'm like, well, I'm an attractive woman. Like he's attractive. Like it could work because we're attractive people. But for some reason, the men that I guess I'm attracted to, they just be going real fast with their cart. I don't know. I don't know. But like you said, Anthony, I think it makes me feel like I think that they're obviously in something, and I respect that. Like if he didn't stop and talk to me, it's maybe because he's involved with someone or he's dating someone. So it's like I get it because he is fine. You know what I'm saying? He's fine. He's like 6'3",
I
chocolate.
mean, it don't even have to be. It doesn't even have to be he's involved with somebody. Like he just knows he has no good intentions, and I'm not gonna go over there and play with this woman. I probably can't play with this woman. You know what I mean? Like men know who they can play with and who they
Right.
can't play with. So it's probably that aura that you're giving that. Okay, I can't go over there and play. She don't look like a sucker. So
Yes.
I'm gonna keep it moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think I give that off too because I do. Like, because the way that I walk, like I walk very confidently. Like I just, I did it last night. Like,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know I'm. So Miss Pretty Amazing says, Ty being Sabrina's friend, what kind of man do you think would be good for her?
Kind of exactly what we just talked about. I think Sabrina needs a man that will get over that initial fear of not feeling worthy enough for her. I feel like if she's, giving you the time of day, then she's already assessed the fact that, you would probably be a good fit. So
Yeah.
have some confidence in yourself, speak up, and go at her hard. She gonna try to test you, but you gotta push through that. She's just checking your strength. That's all. She don't want no weak man. So
Don't want no
With that being said, is it truly necessary for women to test men? Do we really have to go there? Like, do we
Yeah.
really have to put men to the test to see where their loyalty lies, if they're worthy?
In 2023, because my thing is when I'm not going to necessarily say they were tests, but there might have been situations where normally I would be like, you know what, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to just let it play out. You know what I mean? But now and test not meaning test meaning, you know what, I think I'm going to have this hard conversation with him. You know what I'm saying? So to see, just because in real life, I really do not like it when people waste my time because I'm not going to do that to you. So test meaning, you know, I may put you in a situation where it's kind of uncomfortable for you, but I need to see how you're going to react. Because what if this situation doesn't happen for another 5 or 6 months and then you react? And I'm like, damn, I'm in love with this dude now. But now I find out like he has insecurities or aggression, or, he looking like he may put his hands on me. Like, I need to know those kind of things. Sometimes it kind of happens on its own, but, so it's like, and how can I say, because I don't want to use the word test because I really do like to see things play out genuinely, naturally. Like, what example can I give? So say for instance, if you text me, hey boo, what you doing? I may see it and I really may be in the middle of doing something and I don't want to be like, babe, I'm cooking, because I'm in the middle of cooking. I'm busy, and I want to hurry up and finish this food. I want to feed my daughter. I want to, you know what I'm saying? In real life, I've been slaving in the kitchen because it's Thanksgiving, whatever the case. I want to take a shower. So I may text you back in an hour and say, I'll get to him. It ain't,
No, I was actually gonna just ask you that. I was gonna say, at this big age, are we still waiting for text messages to come through? Are we initiating phone calls? Are we initiating text messages? Are we showing interest, or are we sitting around waiting for the other person to show interest first? I was just gonna ask you that. Now, with that being said, um, would you have want if the roles were reversed? Would you have want the man to say, "Hey, I'm actually doing X, Y, and Z right now. Let me get back to you in a few."
No, I
Would
want you
you?
to do whatever. So let me tell. So I'm sorry to cut. Did I cut you off? I'm sorry.
No,
So
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
so let me explain something to you. So I have been on the other end where I dated someone, and he actually yelled at me one day and like kind of went off on me because we were having an argument, and it came out in an argument. He was like, you never call me, you never text me, you never. And this was someone that I was dating. He was a busy person, busy, 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 busy. And it seemed like, every time I did call, I'm busy, right? Let me call you back. And wouldn't call me back for 3, 4, 5 hours later. You know what I mean? So it got to the point where I may be like, hey, good morning. I miss you. Have a great day today. He might not hear from, and I got to go to work. I'm busy. You know what I'm saying? And he may not hear from me, and he may text me at 8 p.m. like, damn, it's been all day. Like, I haven't heard from you. Like, what? Like, I haven't heard from you either. You know what I mean? So at my big age, if I'm in a relationship with you, if I'm dealing with you, I want to talk to you every waking minute. I want to be around you every chance I get. I want to know what you're doing. I want to know, but I don't want you to feel like that you have to be entitled to, or you feel like, if I don't text her back right now, like, guess what? Like, I'm sleepy. Maybe I'm sitting watching TV and I have a headache and I just want to watch TV until I doze off so I can take a quick nap. But I see a message come in and I'm half asleep. I'm not going to find my glasses, I'm about to be asleep. So in 45 minutes, I'm gonna be like, hey, babe, I had a migraine. I was about to take, when you text me, like I was about to take a nap, but, I just woke up. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't text you right back. Like, I feel like that at this big age, we should be mature enough to be able to do those things, without being like offended or upset because I didn't text you right back, So, but meaning test, going back to the root of the question, I wouldn't say that that's a test, but it would be a situation where if that did happen with the cooking and everything, and I'm like, oh, so I see it pop up on my phone, meaning I didn't pick my phone up, meaning my phone was here. I'm over here cooking. It goes off. I look, I'm like, oh, that's babe. He wants to know what I'm doing. I'm like, let me hurry up and finish because I want to hurry up and give Sadora her food. Da, da, da. Oh my God, now I'm sweaty. I want to take a shower. Then yes, I'm not going to say that was a test, but it would be something I would be like, I wonder how he would respond to me. You know what I mean? Because I've had both happen where they yelled at me and the other one was like, oh, babe, I'm not tripping, like, it's cool. Like, make sure you're good. And then, hit me back. And it was nothing to it. And our relationship just kept flourishing and just getting better and better and better. Yeah. So.
Anthony, you ever have those situations where you're like, I got to check her right now, respectfully?
As far as
like
through
that
text message or something happen or something?
Nah, just in life, in general, face to face.
So I have had those situations where,
Yes.
I wouldn't say check, Tyrone. I wouldn't say check. I have to
But
make
I'm
you
saying, that's
aware.
what I mean. That's what I mean by the
Yeah.
Like, you're
I get it.
I got to get her right now, respectfully.
Yeah.
But I got to.
And I feel like that's what that man was. Some people don't realize that text messages are meant to be responded to at your convenience.
No, I was saying, yeah. No, I was saying in the test situations, I feel like those are some of the situations Sabrina would put you in, just to see.
But you know what though, T?
If you don't react well, it ain't going well.
It ain't going nowhere, right?
It's a whole different story.
But you know what though? I gotta say, I just wanted to hear a woman's perspective of it, because at the end of the day, I feel like even if we don't all admit it, we all kind of do want to see how people handle certain situations.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And even if we don't want to verbally admit it and call it testing them, I just want to see how you handle it. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember a young lady told me, Anthony, I like you, you're cool, but I really just need to see how you handle when you're upset, how you handle me when you're upset.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That was just like, she was so fixated on just seeing when I would get mad. Not saying she's gonna get me upset. She just wanted to see how I would handle her how I react when I got upset. To what you were saying, Sabrina, I have to say, like recently, within the past year or so, I could definitely understand how you would see a text message and say, I'm going to respond, end up putting your phone down and don't respond for hours. I could definitely see that. I never understood it until this past year, you know, but I feel like with me, I try to give what I want, you know what I mean? So even if I'm in a patient's room or I'm doing something, I'm talking to you, we're in the midst of conversation, I'm gonna be like, hey Sabrina, I'm about to do a procedure. Give me a little bit, I'll get back to you. We're in the middle of a text conversation or something. I feel like it's just being it's communicating. It's definitely being gracious of the person and being respectful of their time and that they're giving you at this point, and just let them know it's nothing. I'm telling you, you can never be you could under communicate, but you can never over communicate with anybody.
Right.
So letting somebody know too much will never like get them to, oh my gosh, he talked too much, he tell me too much. But you let them know a little bit and it'll traumatize you, like it'll be done.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. And I do want to say one thing about me, communication is really, really huge, you know? So, and I will say this, say for instance, we text 83 times that day. One of those texts will be that what you doing, and it would be, I'm cooking and I'm going to go take that shower. You know what I'm saying? So let me just clarify, because I'm not about like the games or, you know, whatever the case may be, but it could be a situation, especially early on. Like I need to know, like, you know, like how would you respond? Because I've had both sides of the spectrum, and you know, it is what it is. But when it comes to my man, and you know, now I'll say this, say for instance, if I'm cooking and you call me, I will say this, I will pick up every time you call me if I see the phone call. So when you mentioned that, you know, a text is responding at your convenience, I completely agree. But if I do see my man calling and I'm like this, I'm going to put that spatula down. I'm going to wipe my forehead, dust my hands off, and I'm going to be like, hey, babe. And I'm going to go back to stirring. You see what I'm saying? So I will say that, though. Okay.
Hey, look at Tyrone over here, Tyrone. Hey, what you got to say, T? What you talking about?
Nothing, man. Like I think Sabrina is an easy person to date. You know,
I really am.
to do the simple things. You know, even if it's something simple like, hey, you know, I'm going to be busy during this time. So if I'm a little bit unresponsive, that's why. You know, so prior to even getting into all that, you know, if you liked them, you would have let them know, you know, because you know your communication rhythm. You know, if you're normally talking during this time and you don't, you know, you want to find a way to secure them. So you just kind of let them know. And as far as the testing, you know, I believe women want to know that they can be safe, you know, emotionally and physically. And
Yes.
then, you know, when she is the one that is testing you, that you still have the ability, you know, to protect her emotions, even if you are, you know, a little bit upset.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, I
important,
think,
you
yeah,
know.
Tyrone, you're right. I think she is one of the easier ones. And I will say this: if you ever have a man that ever comes at you that way over a text message, you're not responding in a timely fashion, run, run, be gone.
You know what's crazy is I actually just had a situation where I was dating someone, and they showed me a sign of aggression where it frightened me. And I'm saying this, and I'm speaking to you women about this. Um, One thing about me is I give a lot of grace. I really do. And I love my Black men, you know what I mean? But it's some things that I just won't tolerate. And I'm a firm believer also of like when a person shows you are who they are, like really believe them the first time. I'm at a place in my life now where I don't ignore the red flags. I don't even do well with yellow flags at this point. I'd be like, did you just slightly yell at me or raise your voice just a little bit? Just like a little bit? Am I tripping? You know, so just always remember to not ignore the red flags. So because I think I really am easy to get along with. And one thing about me is when I love hard. I give you everything. I give you all of me. And I'm going to show up as the best version of myself and as the healed Sabrina, the wife that my mother raised from a young age to be, you know what I mean? My mom was Korean. Y'all know, y'all may not know, but Korean moms, they don't play with their daughters. You know what I'm saying? They mold us at a very young age to be a great wife. And you know, so but yeah, just don't ignore the red flags. It's an unfortunate situation, but sometimes men just don't know what they got until, you know, it's kind of gone. So anyway, that's a whole nother story. Just hit the like button. Thank you, Auntie Eva. So well, moving on. That's kind of interesting. And I'm gonna say this too, because the question is have you or would you ever do dating apps? If so, what was your experience? So I'm gonna say this. If Tyrone had mentioned the Yahoo classifieds and stuff like that. And I'm gonna say this too. And lately I've been speaking a little bit more on panels, and I'm very private. But I will say this. So there was someone that I was dating, and he was one of the people. So I was really only engaged. So I was engaged when I was 17. He was like, "Will you marry me?" I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think he got the ring out the bubblegum machine. You know, we was married, you know. I don't count that one. But other than that, I've been engaged twice in my life. Didn't marry him though. Well, maybe three, but that one don't count either. But anyway, so one of the two times I literally, I spoke a little bit yesterday, but I'm gonna tell the back side of the story. Well, the real side of the story now tonight. But he was going away out of town, and we were engaged. I was his fiance. We were about to be married in like 6 months at that time. This was years ago at that time. And he went out of town for business, and he actually got arrested. And I didn't know about it. And I remember, and I have a lot of spiritual, I'm very, 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 very spiritual. And I just wasn't feeling right about this relationship. And something said, you know, not even something said, I said, you know, I started praying. I was like, look, I was like, if this man is not for me, I was like, give me a sign, show me something. And I was like, you know, I packed up my belongings. I took my daughter out of school. Like I packed up, I moved to Maryland so I could be with my future husband. You know, I left my job, my career, like it was crazy. And one night on the porch, it was like 3:00 in the morning. I was like, Lord, you know, like, give me a sign, show me something. And I remember I was sitting on the porch, and across the street at this house, the lights started flashing. And I was like, is that you? I was like, no. Make a long story short, 3 days later, I was like, I need a sign. I need a sign. I need this. I was like, I will pack all this crap back up and I will head back south. Like, don't play with me. Something in my head, in my heart said, Google him. Google him. Mind you, I thought to myself, why the hell did I not Google this person in the beginning? I said, you know what? I'm going to Google him. I don't know what that, mind you, we're about to be married in 6 months. I had already been dating him. We were about to I said, well, let me Google him. As soon as I Googled him, his mugshot popped up. He had gotten arrested while I was living there. We were engaged. And it was for, I don't want to get too deep into it, but it was for, how can I put it without? It was for a sting operation that was happening. And let's put it like this. This man had a whole nother life, and I had no idea. So what he did is I read the police report. It's, you know, it was all over the news. You know, I kind of like looked into it. So just to let you guys know, like really investigate like who you're dating, like really look into it. It's very, very important, especially if you have a young child. I can't stress that part enough. Especially if you have children, period, you have to be aware of who you're going to have around your children, your child. So definitely make sure you do your homework and who you're going to be dating, who you want to start this brand new life with, because they might have 2, 3, 4 other lives somewhere else. And it's very, very important. And what they did was they went on Backpage, they went on Craigslist, they went on, and what happened is because it was a sting operation, he was talking to undercover police, and that's how he got caught. So just be careful with the dating apps, and stuff like that. I'm just here to just kind of put it out there. That's just my experience. I really like to discuss facts, especially when I'm talking about stuff like that. And since I personally experienced it, I figured it was a fact. So just be careful out there if you guys are doing like the dating apps and stuff like that. It's really, really important. But anyway, love you guys. Anything else to say? Did y'all want to comment on anything before we move to the next?
You just brought back some nostalgia, Sodom.net, Asian Avenue, Mihente, Black Planet. So, yeah.
I had a young lady tell me back in 2000, I think it was like 2009, 2010, that she does not go out with a man unless she Googles him first. So that's something you definitely got. I've done it too. I've Googled women that I've gone on dates with. Matter of fact, I think women have gotten insulted by me Googling them and looking at social media before I go out with them. You got to be careful, like you said, especially when you have children. You have to be careful who you're dealing with, and it goes for men and women. At the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with knowing who you're dealing with. It's your right to know who you're dealing with.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that used to be my profession, right? Doing investigative and performing investigative services for women. And because there's a lot of creeps out there, because of the amount of information you can get, some of the things you used to be able to do, you can't. So with a simple phone number, I would parlay that phone number into some type of social engineering. I can be an entirely different person, in a day.
Yeah.
And other men can as well. So things like Google Earth, to see the neighborhood. There's webcams everywhere, so you can actually see them come and go in their neighborhoods, like the live streams and stuff. Like it's really instant checkmate is a good one. Like it's really bad now. So
yes,
you have to be careful about giving your information out, ladies.
Yep.
I used to do those scenarios in class all the time. Let me give you one. Maybe after maybe in the after dark when I'll tell you one of the scenarios.
We do need to do that after.
That after dark, damn.
People have been requesting it too.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, but definitely Google. Because the way that the world works now, like it was crazies like 20 years ago, but the crazies we have now are like crazy. And another thing I said on last night's panel is that you can't believe everything that you see on social media, because the other person that I was dating, I went to his social media to see, because we want to see, do they got kids, how he lived. He was God this, God that. He was hanging with celebrities. I was like, he's doing great in his business. I mean, it just looked like, he was a great guy. I was like, I have the best thing since sliced bread. I was like, I have hit the lottery. Honey, it wasn't the lottery that I hit. I hit, it was the complete opposite. Okay. I was like, am I like, now I'm in debt. So, you know, and it was bad. And he really did. He took advantage of me. And that was, you know, I'm not going to sit here and just blame him, because I allowed it to happen. And I believed the things that he said. And guess what? I ignored the red flags. So like I said, I've come a long way from my relationships from years and years ago. So this is just stuff that I just wanted to share with you guys, just so you don't make the same mistakes that I made years ago. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to get y'all hip. And because it's the men's panel, I know more women would be watching this too. So, but check out this link that Tyrone just put up. Here's one of my talks on the subject. Check out his YouTube video. All right. Oh God, that was, see, but these are the kind of conversations like let's keep it 100. You know what I mean? This is why I love to have conversations like this, because a lot of people, it's like you see it on social media, whatever, but unless you really hear like real people like us talking about it, it's like it really doesn't hit home. Like with situations that end up being like tragic or bad, it's like you really don't think it could happen to you until it happens to you, you know?
Yeah. 10. Oh, I'll give you like a 2-minute quick scenario. Just 10 minutes of research. I can figure out a lot of the things that you're into, and I can become that person in about 20 minutes. So you may think that I'm the catch. You may think I'm the person you have been looking for your entire life, and I'm not. It's because I saw a picture of you. You know, I did a right click, Google search. Google will tell me all of the other places your face shows up.
Yeah.
And now I go and do some research on those sites. I know who your friends are. So even if it's not you, you know, I can still track you through your friends, because your friends are tagging you in pictures. So if you're private, you know, I can still find that. And then there's still things like, what do you call it? Facial recognition.
Yep.
So even if you're in the background of someone else's picture, you will show up in Google. So just be wary of that. Business card, I can make a website. I can do all that stuff in a matter of minutes.
So if you need Tyrone's services, definitely hit him up, okay? Because this is real life stuff out here. So just to let y'all know, the reason why we're discussing this right now is because one of the topics in questions is, have you ever done dating apps and how was your experience? So that's what we're talking about right now. But we're going to move forward. Do you end the relationship because of baby daddy drama? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he ain't really like, you know, he just cussed you out. He just said you can't be around his kids. You know what I'm saying? He don't want the mama having you around. No, y'all been dating for a year. I still don't want that dude around my kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, he can't stay over at the house. Do y'all end the relationship because of baby daddy drama?
I wouldn't necessarily probably end it like if he is the source of the drama, but I will ask you what your relationship is with your child's father, and I will pay attention to how you talk about him, you know, and how you treat him, and how you respect his relationship with his child. And if you are supportive of that, even if you aren't together, if you are the least bit vindictive, you know, or mean to the other person that he's with, I'm leaving. I don't have time for it.
Tyrone nailed it. Like all those things that he just said, he nailed it. Like pretty much, you have to pay attention to that kind of stuff. Especially if you walk into a situation and they paint a certain picture for you, you get to know them a little bit better, and when you see it's not actually what they say it is, you need to pay attention to that and run, because you have to understand those kids are going to go to that other parent's house and then come back to your home and display that same energy that other parent had, and bring that over to your house of peace. So it's like, do you really want that? Do you really want this other person who's not going anywhere, that's going to be in these kids' life for the rest of their life, being able to dictate certain things and disturb your peace in your household, how you decide to raise your children and be in your relationship? So I will say all those things are red flags, and you have to pay attention to it. And all these women that go through baby mama, baby daddy issues, when they meet a man and they go through hell and back for these men and they use it as a badge of honor, it's really not a badge of honor. Like it's really not. Like you are traumatized. It's like you are suffering from PTSD. You will never be the same again. You will always think about those experiences that you went through with
Yeah.
that man's baby mama or vice versa. You know what I mean? And it's just always gonna put a toll on your relationship. You will never truly be happy with that person knowing what you went through with the other person. So you might as well just call it
Yeah.
a day and go.
Yeah. Some women be like, I would like to thank me on Father's Day for being a father figure to my child. No, no. You know what I mean? No. You don't know what it's like to be a teenage boy and that kid needs his dad. Like all kids need their dad. You
Yeah.
know, so I would be a big fan of you if you were to support, at a minimum, support that connection, support the relationship between the kids and their father,
Right.
just because you guys didn't, do well, it's got nothing to do with the kids.
Right. Dr. 100% asks Tyrone and Anthony, do you date women who have children, but the father is completely absent by the male's choice?
Mm,
Hmm.
funny. Wow. Probably talking too much, but I've seen, my daughter has brothers and sisters. I've seen their father more when I was deployed than I've seen him in real life and come to the house and stuff. So
Mm.
to answer the question, yes, I would. Some guys just ain't shit, you know. But then again,
Yeah.
those kids need a father figure. Like all kids need a father figure, and it may not be the kid's fault or the mom's fault. The guy just doesn't want to be present. You
Exactly.
know, even if you extend a hand out and be like, "Hey, what's good? I know you. I'm Ty's father," and even he was like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?"
Yeah.
But then I want to be like, "Yeah, I'm about to cuss now because it's really sensitive to me. Like, I've never seen you come to the house, bro. Like, I have nothing against you. I don't have any issues, you know." Um, so yeah, like I even in my case, I make it known, right, that I will show up to Denmark in your house and shake your hand just so you know that I'm there, I'm present. Like I'm gonna be here. I don't have no issue provided you are doing right by my kid. But yeah, if I wasn't being around, then I would expect all the smoke, from him as well as, even though it may not be his business, but you know, and then on top of that, my friends should be checking me about being present for my kids, you know.
Yeah. Anthony, do you
Um,
date
I
women?
um, I have. I definitely have, and I took it on, man. I love that little girl. You know what I mean? Um, I would shop for her like I would shop for my daughter.
Yeah.
Um, I definitely, if I plan for my daughter's future, I plan for hers as well. Knowing that her father was dealing with alcoholism and different mental health issues, and he wasn't around, I definitely took it on. It wasn't a thing for me. It wasn't a big deal. It's kind of easier knowing that I didn't have to deal with him and I just had to take care of the little
Mhm.
girl and incorporate her into me and my daughter's life. So it's all situational, and that particular situation just worked for me. Hey, you're not around, cool. I got it. She's amazing. She's beautiful. She's around the same age as my daughter. We're gonna do this. You know what I mean? But it's all situational. It all depends on the dynamics, on the background, what's going on. You have to pay attention to all that. You can't just say, hey, since he's not around, I'm gonna just take this on, because there are a lot of other dynamics that goes along with it. So you just
Yeah,
have to figure out what works for you at that point.
yeah.
Yeah, correct. Because I will say this, because I am a mother who has a daughter who she's never met her father a day in her life. He's never been around. So, and I know I have never really had any issues with men not wanting to date me, because actually they kind of told me, they were like, I'm glad he ain't around. I don't got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can build this thing together without, any issues or whatever. And so, but
Yeah, at that point, at that some place, it's like, yo, hey, I got her. She's mine at that point. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's easy.
Yeah.
That's easy.
And I'm definitely going to investigate, though. Like we just talked about doing research on people. If I see you on the gram chilling, traveling, buying stuff, but you're not providing, or that's just who you are, right? So if you're just not going to come around, then don't come around at all. But what I would do is I would still ensure that he has the ability to connect with his kids, right? You know the number, you know where we at. You feeling guilty about specifically talking to them, I'm available to bridge that gap if needed, right? I will support that relationship. But if you're still choosing not to be present, then I really don't have nothing to say to you.
I don't know. I feel like Tyrone, after a certain amount of time, if I'm sitting here, you've been absentee,
Mhm.
and you didn't step up to the plate as a grown ass man, then why am I going to do work and invest in this child? And we have this child operating a certain kind of way, and then you want to come step in later on and
yeah,
and be daddy? Like, that's not going to work for me. You know what I mean? Like, we've already got a routine. We've already raised this child the way we want to raise this child. And who are you to come in and step in years later and decide I want to be daddy at that point? Like, I
yeah,
feel like, no, like, you don't have that right. Like, I'm not biologically that
Yeah,
kid's father, but at the end of the day, we've already raised this child to what we wanted this child to be. So we're not gonna
exactly.
have you come and disturb that peace.
yeah.
That's
I think the reason why I feel that way is because I have been that child that was longing for someone in my family to like let my biological father know I exist. Like has anyone else ever like told him where I am or what I'm doing or how my grades are? Like, does he care? Can someone, if y'all can't confirm that, that means no one else has, spoken up for me on my behalf. Do you know what I'm saying? So if
mm-hmm.
that is happening and he's still choosing to not be around, then it's going to affect my decision, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
I know it's hard for a kid to try to understand what it would be like, as a father, because obviously you feel like every father should want to be present in their life. But I've had my biological father tell me that I told him that he's not my real father. This guy is my father, and he was like, that crushed me. And I understand that, you were in a better situation. So I decided, to let that, just like you
Step
said,
off.
I've decided to let y'all be in that situation as opposed to like constantly coming in and interrupting, knowing that I don't have the means to put you in a better life. But still, like, I still want to know that you exist, that you care, that you tried, you know?
Right.
I feel like for me, my father was incarcerated when I was young, and even when he got out, I feel like he didn't put the effort into getting to know me and step up to the plate and be in my life the way he should have. I feel like he kind of waited for me to reach out. That's not my responsibility as a child to reach out to you. You're a
Right.
grown ass man. So I feel like as a grown ass man, if you have a child, and even though if you're not able to put Payless sneakers on that child's feet or whatever it is, you
Right.
still have to make an effort to be in that child's
Just
life,
show
whether it's
up.
pop up after school and take you out for ice cream or whatever it is, you're showing
Yeah.
effort. You know what I mean? So you
Yeah.
can't let that woman's family dictate how you play in your child's life. At the end of the day, you do everything that you can do possibly. And at the end of the day, it's that child's decision to figure out, hey, where they want to place you.
Mm-hmm.
You can't allow the woman's family to dictate that. So as a man, you just have to put your best foot forward and step up to the plate. Whether I don't care how many times you get knocked down, you brought that child into this world. You keep getting knocked down. You wasn't in that child's life, so you need to prove yourself as being a father.
Yeah.
You know what? I think y'all may have just motivated me to do a video. I actually because I went through it all. I found my siblings through my open source research and met my other siblings and my biological father, live streamed it all, to get that closure, and even made a post on my Instagram about, crushing, childhood traumas. So
we've been waiting a real long time for you to do, and every time I swear, if I had $1 for every time I say you need to do the video, Ty, when you gonna do the video, Ty, it's only gonna take. Don't over edit the video, Ty. Just make it happen. Don't be just have fun with it. Don't be too. Just do the video, Ty. I'ma do it. He still ain't do it.
I'm gonna do it. I have a lot of free time tomorrow. I'm gonna do it.
Okay. Well, we gonna wait. We not gonna hold our breath. We gonna wait. I'm gonna be like, did the notification come through yet?
Yeah. I got you.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Mm-hmm. Oh God, I should have asked this question after the first question. I don't know why I saved this question for the last question. This question should have been second to the first question. Okay. Lord, we leaving with a bang. So if you can't make your woman climax, how would that make you feel? And what are your next steps? Y'all's faces. Sure.
How do I say this? I would imagine that it would be tough.
You said I would imagine. You like, that's the answer. We can stop the show. Let's go.
I would imagine that that's a tough situation for a mere mortal. No, I think it goes back to what I spoke on earlier. Is this a one-time thing with me? Is this a normal occurrence for you to not get there? Yeah. And we would talk like, why do you feel you aren't getting there? Do you know any other people who aren't? Have you talked to them about what's going to get what got them over the edge? Do you even know what gets you over the edge? Like, have you ever experienced that? Mm-hmm. Do you know how to do it for yourself? Mm-hmm.
Have you done it for yourself too much?
Yeah. Do you know how to do it? Do you know how to do it for yourself? Right? You got, like, if you don't have those understandings, then I have to safely assume it's not me.
Yep.
So
because I know women that have told me they like, I've never climaxed or I've never had an orgasm. I'm like, never? They're like, never.
I know people who say that as mental trickery.
What do you mean? Like other females try to mentally trick me?
Let's just say people say it as mental trickery, as like, I don't think I've ever, from that. And then people be like, oh yeah? Oh yeah?
But that's another woman having a conversation with me, though, that
I don't want to say myself, but sometimes you can add that to your bag of tricks and be like, I've never experienced that.
I mean, it's different if she told a man that, but it's like she told me, like we were just talking, like, as we were just friends and we were just having a conversation.
But you could be like, I've never climaxed that way ever in my life. You lying, of course, but they start to get competitive, and maybe that's something that Anthony could have told old girl earlier instead of just saying that she need to go. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, am I talking too much?
No.
But yeah.
I feel like Tyrone's right. You have to ask these questions like, hey, have you ever climaxed before? Are you pleasuring yourself a little too much? Like what it takes to get you there. Every woman is different. Every situation is different. So it might not necessarily be me. It just takes a little bit of investigation and figure out, hey, what do we need to do to get to this point? What do you enjoy? What's your spot? You know what I mean? What gets you off? So I feel like with those kind of conversations, you can get a person there. It doesn't necessarily have to be you unless you just personally trash. You don't know what you're doing, or you're not taking your time to please your woman at the end of the day. But you could help every woman reach that spot with just a little bit of conversation and communication.
Yeah. Dr. 100%. I am well aware. You know, I have sisters, I have cousins that have never experienced that. But I also know that they like to run through men. I also know that they probably have never been vulnerable emotionally to any of those men, never really felt secure around them ever. So a lot of that comes into play. I know if it was me, you know, like for my lady, like I'm willing to die in there. Like we step across this threshold. You know what I'm saying? Like I refuse to have that on my resume. You know what I mean? I feel like it's that I should make the Hall of Fame. That's going to be with an asterisk right there behind this one person's name, and I just can't. You know, I can't have that. So I'm going to do whatever I can to figure out what we need to do to get you there. You know, like if it take 2 hours, let me know. I got time. I don't care about the receipts.
I have to agree with Tyrone, definitely. I did 100%. If you never gotten there, then apparently it's not me. You know what I mean? So at that point, it's my job as a man. Like, okay, let me do what I need to do to get you there. You know, like little TMI. I've had a woman tell me one time that I've never squirted or whatever it was. Okay, cool. I've never seen a woman squirt. So hey, you know what? Let me go ahead and do this research. We're going on vacation. I'm gonna break out all the stops and we're gonna make that happen for you. You know what I mean? So hey, you say it, we're gonna do it to please. We aim to please out here.
Shit. Ooh.
It's okay.
I thought I was muted. Oh, but
okay, so with that being said, so y'all don't mind like if toys and stuff were brought into the room? Y'all like toys? Y'all like toys? Because I know some men are like, you don't need that. You don't need that. You got me. We don't need all that.
No, I would want to know like what you're using, what pleases you, what's your go-to toy. Get that one first. You know what I mean? Let's
But what if she want that toy every time y'all?
Okay.
Oh wow.
I'm not insecure like that.
I mean, if it's what makes you happy.
I feel like it's me. You know what I mean? I would only feel like it's me if it's not happening with just me alone. Then okay, it may be me. Maybe she just needs something else to get over, the hump. Right. You know, if then like Anthony said, like she could be desensitized, you know, and will actually require that. If it's a requirement that you need it, then that might be something we need to discuss. But it's not like I'm gonna say no, but I would try to like wean you off and say, hey, there are other things that we can do besides that.
Right.
You know, because I'm just being honest because I know myself. You know, I know myself. Hey, you know,
some men get very insecure.
Yeah. She may be like, why that TV got to be on? And I'll be like, hey, it's just it's an additional stimulant. You know what I mean? It's an additional stimulant to add to all the other stimulants.
Oh man, yo, Tyrone's right. Like whatever works for you. You know, you've been without a man for so long, you're used to certain things. Like you said, you have to wean you off to have a man at that point because you're so used to certain. Your body likes what your body likes. If you trained your body to something, then you have to wean your body off. It's like a medication. You know what I mean? You have to wean medication off in order to get off of it. So when you have been doing something for so long and now you have a physical man, now we need to get you off of what you've been doing and get you acclimated back to a man and what a man can do to you to please you. You know, so he's absolutely right. If that means, hey, you need to use your toys temporarily until we get you back to being acclimated to a physical man, then we're gonna go ahead and do that at that point.
Absolutely.
With boundaries though, because you know, I was listening to that conversation y'all had last night. you know, there will be some things that we are not going to do, no matter how much it pleases you. You know what I mean? And if that's what you need, then you should probably go go find someone else.
Yo, man, I'm about to double back on that conversation from last night and see what you're talking about.
It was the butt stuff again. You know how they do. I'm pretty sure it was the butt stuff.
Look.
Would you
If
talk about
you
bisexual
have
men
any interaction, any interaction with a man's backside, you have to question it. Any interaction. That's just my opinion.
I wanted to
Some
speak
men
up.
really, I'm gonna say this, a lot of men really like that. They like like the groceries. Yes, they be like, can you know what I'm saying? I be like, no, a lot of, let me tell you something. I've had experiences in my life where that has happened more often than I would have liked it to.
Yeah. So there was I think it was a soundbite about the man being gay when that happens. So
well, because it was stemmed, I'm sorry to cut you off, but it stemmed from the panel. Remember how we talked about marrying a bisexual woman?
Yes.
So the women had, the panel. So it's like, would you marry a bisexual man? So that's how,
Right.
And then we talked about what PO said about how if it happened, don't matter if it happened once, if it happened, he's always forever going to be bisexual, even if he doesn't. So that's how the conversation got brought up.
Right. So I gave that some thought, and I came to the conclusion that if you are a man and there was a point in your life where you experimented with anal pleasure with another man, and realized that you didn't like it, so you moved on, I feel like I can respect that. If you went back maybe 2, maybe 3 times with the same person, I think I could still respect that. If you tried it one more time with a different person, I think I can respect that, right? You know that you don't like it. You truly understand your boundaries. But if you're on the 10, 20, 30th session, right, and it is, you are requesting, anal pleasure from a man, then that, to me, is gay.
Right.
But I know straight dudes that like butt stuff, but with their girl. And that's where all the feelings is. So I get it, understand it.
I know. I was just going to comment on that. I have heard of, and I know a couple guys who have not completely disclosed that they deal with anal things with their woman, but they have also not denied it either. So with that being the case, I've never heard of these men interacting with other men. Me personally, I feel like if there's anything that has to do with a man's backside, it is not fair game. It's not for play. It's off limits, whatever the case may be. It's just a poor dialogue. It's just, to me, it's just no pleasure in it at all. So you just stay away from it. To each his own though. Whatever works for other people, it's their business. I respect it. But yeah, we don't play like that. We definitely don't play like that.
Yeah.
So is it normal and natural for a man to desire that from a woman?
I'm not going to say it's abnormal, but what are you talking about, just so we clear?
So like, what if she likes, just the backside,
full out pegging,
to do what?
Toot it up,
yeah, like
down,
yeah, right,
that from his girl,
right, exactly, yes, very well explained. Well said.
for that to happen to a man? Is that what you're saying?
No, for a man to enjoy it and have those experiences with his woman.
Meaning
for his woman to do it to him?
No, for him to do it to his woman.
See, we wasn't clear.
I was getting ready to say, if it was the other way around, absolutely, 100%, yes.
Okay.
Because one day he gonna want the real thing. But no, I'm talking about if a man enjoys it with his lady friend.
That's not pleasure for a man though. That's pleasure for her.
To be the giver. Am I lost? Am I talking about something totally different?
So Sabrina, repeat that question. I feel like you're saying for a man to do it to a woman.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm saying that does not benefit that man at all, though. That's for her.
That's not what I heard.
So again, not my thing. But if you enjoy that, I'ma do it.
Because I know men that desire that.
Yeah, it's not my thing.
All the time. No, I mean, but they want both. Of course, they want both. But they be like, "Let me." You know what I mean? Like,
no, not over here. I don't play with that. You don't play over here. I don't play over there. If you telling me that, hey Anthony, I want such and such done to such and such, then I'm gonna consider appeasing you, even though that's not my pleasure. That's for you. That's not for me. Yeah, that's
why is it what is unpleasurable about it for
what? I'm good with the vagina. Like I don't need to play with the other part. I don't need to. Listen, I'm good.
Play with it all. Eat it all.
Oh.
Too much. If it's
hey, Tyrone, you like what you like.
Put it on your plate.
You like what you like.
You put it on your plate. Eat what you put on your plate. That's your lady, man.
Hey, grown man talk. I've just never been in a position where
I just don't need to be the receiver of that.
Facts.
Tyrone, you a freak.
Hey, you know what?
Told you cross this threshold.
Oh God.
Hey, Tyrone DM about to be flooded after this. It's about to be flooded.
Yo, tonight they have seen a different side. They done seen. I mean, yeah, we call him Freaky Ty, but I don't know, like Tyrone.
I feel like we've grown. Like, what are we?
We are grown, and we having grown people conversation.
Hey, look, you like what you like, man. If you do certain things, you do them.
But I also understand, like, I'm not necessarily a fan. Like, that's not my thing. That's not my go-to. But if that's something that pleases her, that's just going to benefit me. So why would I refrain?
I agree. I agree. And I feel like, once you get to that certain point with a person, you have these conversations like, hey, what do you like? What do I like? This is what I'm willing to do for you. This is what I'm not willing to do for you. This is something we could try once and never try again.
Sometimes you just got to do it. Sometimes you know what I mean?
Hey, that's grown people talk. That's grown people talk.
She'll let you know if she don't like it. Just be assertive in there.
Wow. So that's nuts because I always thought that if the man was like, let me let's experiment back there. I always thought it was obviously it's because they liked it, and the fact that they like that's like questionable. I figured I guess that makes sense because just because it's attached to a woman, I'm thinking like, okay, it's cool. Not it's cool, but like, like the mental, like he's not thinking, but y'all are pretty much letting me know, like if the dude likes backdoor, it's because he's suspect on a woman.
No.
Like if he enjoys it?
On himself. If he enjoys it on himself, then he is suspect. Now, if he does it to a woman to please her, that's something different. Now, me personally,
subtract the
right?
pleasing her part out. Like he wants to do it for himself to her.
Oh, well. I mean, I I can't say that, to be honest with you. It's a preference. It's a preference that I choose not to do that. Now, if Christopher chooses he likes to do that and it's a fetish for him, that's his own business to do that to his woman.
Right.
That's his thing. That's just the kind of freak he is at
Yeah.
that point. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like we're look, if he likes it done to himself, that he's suspect. If he wants to do it to his
Oh,
woman,
that.
like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like saying, hey, if this man likes to suck his woman's toes, are we gonna question him about it? That's his woman. He wants to suck her toes. That's his thing.
Right. Right.
Like,
You know.
so we grown, right? So you got to be honest. Like, there's different levels to me. There's different levels to like a guy doing the butt stuff, right? I just think it's different levels.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, literally and figuratively, like there's different levels. Like, if you are handing your girl like the 8-inch strap on, you know, then to me, that's suspect. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Anything from another
Mhm.
guy, to me, that's suspect. Still do your thing, but if I was the woman and my man enjoyed me doing that, enjoyed me pegging him, I would give him a serious side eye.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Side eye,
that's
you better
true.
side eye. You need to run. Like you need to grab your clothes and go and block and delete at that
You're
point.
probably the one thing that's that's telling himself that he ain't gay.
Mm. Dang.
Yeah.
You are probably the one thing that is telling him that he is not gay. That's deep. But you are so right. It's validating his
Yeah.
heterosexualness. Or is that a word? But you all know what I mean.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm, interesting. Dang. Let me tell y'all something. This was a good conversation. All these conversations be good. This was good. Y'all were so very informative. Do y'all want to conclude? Do y'all have any last words about anything you would like to share? Mm,
No, I would just say, sometimes you get to a point in your life where you realize what's important to you, and what it's gonna take to be happy and to stay happy. And a lot of that is being open and honest, at the beginning, willing to experiment and not necessarily like the same way that you want to be vulnerable emotionally. There are things that you can be vulnerable about, you
mhm,
know, physically and sexually, when it comes to expressing your desires and what you like and what you don't like. And, to a certain extent, you really shouldn't, kind of worry about how the other person feels. And the other thing is like you also have to be willing to be selfless in there because it's going to benefit you.
yeah,
In the end, it's going to benefit you to be selfless.
yeah. Mm. Um, Final words, Anthony.
All right, cool. So just to recap, um, ladies, if you want to sleep with a man on the first date and you comfortable, go ahead and do it. Fuck the judgment, whatever they got going on. Um, if you want to join the dating app, join the dating app. Be cautious.
Yes.
Google people first. Don't be too quick to react. Um, if you sense any baby mama, baby daddy issues, do not ignore it. Run for the hills. Find somebody else to do it. And lastly, if a man allows you to play with his backside, run. Okay? It's a bad. You can find me at IM_Anthony Martin NP. That's all I got for you tonight.
All right. What are you about to say, Tyrone? You sure? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let everybody know where they can find you on your socials, or Anthony just said it, but is it any projects that y'all are working on that you would like to tell the audience about, or anything?
Yeah.
You? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I started doing the mental health talks, and I had a really good mental health self-healing session
Hmm.
this last weekend when I went to South Florida. As you can see, I'm a lot more tanned. And what I did was I went to the beach that I grew up on, Marathon, Florida. Yes, I drove all the way down, went to the beach, and just sat there. So I got some drone footage I'm going to try to put together tonight. Maybe I'll make a few reels so y'all can see what that was like. And yes, I will do another video on the channel at some point tomorrow. I will create something. So, that's important, to take care of yourself. And sometimes you just got to get away, and that's fine. No matter how crazy you think your getting away is, it's your, specific to you and your mental health. Because I was in the middle of Kansas one day and just drove there, stood there, so it's all what you make it.
Yeah.
But Ty Wilson 21 everywhere. Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Nothing really going on over here. Just living life. I'm your regular healthcare worker, father, entrepreneur. Other than that, man, just chilling. Glad to be here.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for being here with me tonight. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to join me. And also I think it got up to almost 130 of you in the chat viewing. Shout out to you guys that are in the chat that's been keeping the chat live tonight. Love you so much. Shout out to my soul mates. Okay. Love you so much. Thank you. If you have not liked this video, make sure you click that thumbs up. If you are not subscribed, make sure you click the subscribe button, click that notification bell. So every time I upload or go live, you will be the first to know. Other than that, love you so much, guys. I will see you next Tuesday for the Queens panel, and then Wednesday again for the men.